this is a funky one. Dooba. A little too crazy, I feel like. I might have to pull that one out of the synth wave. Synthwave is supposed to be like music for focusing, music for studying, music for, like productivity music.
I don't want to put a lot of pressure on ourselves today, but Jesse, when I text Jesse about coming in today, he asked me.
He said, "Pressure's on."
Yeah, he's like, "Do you want to like bring me stuff to talk about?" I'm like, "No, you're the guest, so we'll come up with the stuff to talk about." So just come in and we just want to bounce some stuff off of you.
And we'll have so much stuff it'll blow your mind.
And then we're like, let me look up like business news today.
You went to business.com.
Yeah.
And we can't afford that. We go business.org.
And then I'm looking at some stuff and I'm like,
I just want to talk to him.
And then I thought, what if every time Jesse comes in that we would guarantee that in the span of this show, we will come up with, through a collective brainstorm.
Every show we come up with an invention?
A $1 million idea.
Okay.
So we will come up with $1 million idea in this show some point in time.
But most people that point to their idea and then wave their hands and yell, that's $1 million idea. They're not $1 million.
No, because everybody is too cliche and everybody says that. And a lot of ideas are $1 million ideas, but no one has the $1 million execution, which what it really takes. Like there's $1 million ideas are a dime a dozen.
$1 million.
Yeah.
That's why.
Touche.
You know how much that is, and I already blew $1 million on the idea. So now you want me to spend another $1 million? That's $2 million.
Yeah. We're $1 million in the hole.
I'm no genius math guy, but I'll check that math with my buddy who is a genius math guy.
It's not hard to come up with $1 million idea. It's hard to make $1 million. It's real hard
to execute. That's right.
$1 million ideas. I think we can come up with them. Now, chances
$1 million
are.
ideas are easy, but getting a blowjob from your wife is hard.
Yeah. If you can get. I just figured it out.
We did it already. Haven't even hit record.
Yeah. If there was some sort of guaranteed blowjob from your wife, like
everything would get done.
That I could
$1 billion idea.
Everything would get done.
It's like do this will equal a blowjob every time. That's $1 million idea.
It's just
figuring out all the details.
Get to work. Jimmy used to do that.
It's just an
That's
idea.
$1 million idea. Now let's put it. Let's execute it.
It's loose. All the details of the idea. You have to put that in there.
It is loose. That's why I want a blowjob.
They say, if you're going to try and scale a business, the first $1 million's proof of concept.
Okay.
1 through 10 shows it could scale. 10 through 100 million means it's going to grow. So that's kind of like the trajectory. Like we tend to focus. That $1 million like proof of concept. Is it viable? And then by the time you hit the $1 million, then you know if it could scale or not, right? Then you have the scale plan.
Yeah.
So in theory, the $1 million is you need someone to execute on it, right? Like, what's your cheapest way to get to the $1 million, right? To prove it works, without putting $1 million in to make $1 million.
Okay. Let's start. We'll talk about this because I won't even talk about having a business that makes $1 million. Isn't that big of a deal depending on what? Okay.
Yeah. No, this is a good topic. I like it.
It used to be. All right. Would you like to start?
Yes.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out and join our live stream. Just search for @TomandDanLive. And if you're on social media, and most everybody is, search, subscribe @TomandDanLive.
We're doing a promotion this month and this month only that if you buy a pinball machine from thepinballdudes.com or .net,
yes,
we will come to your house and play the first game after Andrew comes in because the setup is all free.
We will. 100-mile radius.
No, 50 miles.
I'm doing 100-mile radius.
That's too far.
On his new scooter.
That's too far.
On my car because it's like I won't even have to drive it.
Oh, touche. Okay,
it's 100 miles.
Yeah.
100 miles there, 100 miles back.
But it's the time it takes to drive 100 miles.
I told you could be 50-mile Tommy and I'm 100-mile Danny.
Anyway.
The difference in the dedication levels.
Thepinballdudes.net.
There you go.
So we have a guest today, and he is an entrepreneur. He is a social media influencer.
Yes, he is.
He is all-around business expert. Jesse Wolf is here. How you doing, Jesse?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back again.
So, we were joking around on Twitch before we started the actual show.
I was sitting on a simian, and I couldn't make it 8 seconds.
That I was going to guarantee that each time Jesse Wolf was in here, that I guarantee we will come out of this brainstorm, because this is what I'm calling this.
Yeah.
This is like a collective brainstorm.
Tom and Dan brainstorm.
We just talk about some topics, some things going on in business or whatever, and then throughout
an idea hurricane.
the time we're talking, we will guarantee $1 million idea.
A product NATO coming at you.
That anybody listening to this can take that $1 million idea that we come up with and run with it and become a millionaire if they choose.
We don't need it.
We're like reverse Shark Tank.
Yes.
We create the idea.
Yes, we're like Shark Tank, but we're back to front. And you're never supposed to go. We're back to front.
Yeah.
We're back to front Shark Tank.
Back to front.
Never go back to front. That's how you get a yeast infection.
Yeah, or worse.
So,
Shark Tank.
And when we were talking about $1 million ideas, because I was saying they're a dime a dozen, it's the execution of that idea that's the hard part. Like, you can come up with $1 million idea all day long, and then just building that and figuring out how to actually make it work is another thing. But let's talk about $1 million. Like, now more than ever, $1 million isn't anything. Like $1 million.
Well, every second of the day becomes less important, right?
Yeah. I think what $1 million means now comparative to when we were kids in the 90s.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That was like you're a millionaire, 1 million, that's it.
Yeah.
You were good forever.
You were set for life, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason that now, and I think there's like 1,103 of them or some billionaires.
Oh, yeah.
In North America, I
Yeah.
guess. There's thousands of billionaires in North America.
Yeah.
And that is, as a 49-year-old man, it crushes my soul a little bit that our children are like, I want to be a billionaire, just like the song Bruno Mars or Travis. What was that? Jim Class Hero.
Yeah. One of those guys.
But my point is that that's not, like you don't want to be a millionaire anymore.
Well, I want to buy up all the things I never had.
Thank you very much.
Travis someone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Travis McCoy.
Can't buy a yacht dad with $1 million. I need $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of sad that we're at the billion now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
$1 million boats. Go look at like brand new boats. It's not even can't even get you that much. You're gonna you get like a 40-foot center console with
at best. Yeah.
I'll give you a real one from last night's marijuana adventures. You ready?
Yeah.
I want to go. Every dad, you dream, right? When your eyes are about getting heavy. And I went to the Airstream website and I looked up I want the smallest Airstream, the littlest one they make.
49 grand.
I'm obsessed with your clothes. I'm obsessed with little things. You know I like little things. Little scooters, little dogs, I'm little. My daughter's little. We like little things. My wife likes little things. I was like, a little Airstream. This would be amazing. I'll get a new one.
I wish you liked big things. That would be funnier. Anyway, sorry.
I like big women.
Okay, yeah.
I do like bigger women.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean real big.
I like them real big, but I had to settle. At some point you can't find. I want them 6'5". But at some point you can't find. That's a premium. Also, like a Great Dane, they die early.
Yeah.
You don't want to get like a 6'8", 6'9". I'll be having for 8 years. Dead, and I'll be sad, and then I'll never want to get a new one. So for this, where was I? I lost my train of thought. It's happening. Double bed.
Airstream.
Yes.
Expensive.
Okay, you ready?
Things.
Tiniest Airstream, brand new, 2026 Airstream. It's named after like a bug. It's small. What do you think?
Okay,
brand new, 2026.
You're paying a premium on the brand.
I think it's 14 feet. It's small, tiny.
Airstream is the Gucci of travel trailers.
It's up there, yeah.
Great comparison, yeah.
So, thank you very much.
He's good at this. He's really good at this.
He's good at that.
No, but he's good at the numbers.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it.
I've been wanting to say Gucci of travel trailers for a long time. I wrote it down.
Each scratched.
We are so trashy that he's had that name brand for, how long have you owned the website Gucci of travel trailers?
Since March 23rd, 2021.
Ready for the number? $71,000.
Whoa! Wow.
It's like a 14-foot, the smallest one they make. It's the smallest.
But in comparison, if you went to like Jayco or Coleman, that's probably 18 grand.
Yeah.
So
22 for brand new, loaded.
Jesus, brother.
Loaded, though. With that, like, you could get the same size that's not an Airstream with, like, refrigerator, AC, TV, slidable, whatever you want inside of it, everything, and the pass-through storage. You need that because it's small.
Yep.
And it'd be like 24,000.
Crazy money. But again, what does Airstream do so well that Gucci also does? Is it paints that lifestyle to the fullest. You know what I mean?
The silver exterior is so pretty.
They got the clubs and the groups, and you're part of the Airstream community, and I mean,
they are better made. A regular RV travel trailer is made out of just composite wood garbage. It is 100% garbage.
Oh yeah,
it's all wood laminate. It's like, why would you do
plastic
this?
on the exterior?
If
you
you're
put
lucky,
your family
it's
in it, you're right out of store.
No, so fun fact, it's weird we got on RVs right now because
I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Same.
And I'm back in it. And every year, and I think a lot of dads, I know Tom used to do this. You probably still do. Once a year, you go through a phase where it's almost like you get hot for it. You go to the website, you Google it real hard for a couple hours, then it flushes out of your body.
I'm on Facebook Marketplace once a year.
Brother.
Once a week.
Yeah, once a day for me at a minimum. That's that toilet time, the old marketplace shopping, you know what I mean? But my dad and my mom actually are restoring the front end of their camper. I had a little water damage, so we spent a few months doing this. And when we first pulled it apart, I'm like, oh, this is going to be kind of nuts. I've never done this.
Was the roof leaking? That's weird. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Of course I have. They're made like garbage. They're all garbage.
They're literally, I'm not even kidding you.
It's like paper.
Dude, it is I think it's called Frylon. It's the thinnest, paper-thin.
Frylon is not even nylon. It's Frylon.
It's Frylon because it's
What's
fiberglass.
synthetic nylon? Make it out of that.
It's fiberglass nylon, basically. It's the thinnest sheet of fiberglass. It's literally like balsa wood sheet, and then foam insert and metal frame.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, these are literally able to blow apart so easily.
Well, it has to be pullable by an old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be light.
Then when it starts leaking, you're like, wait a minute. And then you call a manufacturer where they're like, have you had it out in the sun more than 8 hours? And they're like, oh, yeah.
It's not made for that.
It's like 8 hours.
Yeah, sorry, it's not rated for sunlight.
It's not rated for rain, water, sun, wind, speed.
You're going to have to buy an awning.
Those, I mean, but it's because of the nature of campers. Like, people have them for such short amount of times. And it's not when's the last time you've met someone that had their camper for 20 years and then still uses it?
Dad always
It doesn't
traded his.
exist unless the Airstream or something.
And that's why they're still around, right?
Yeah. And there's one, Avion. That was another one. That's the white one. My dad was always obsessed with Airstream, and then I think the other one's called Avion.
Yeah.
And Avion was the one that was more white fiberglass
Yeah,
exterior.
they were like shells, kind of connected together.
But there's something I did know as a young boy in DeLand, Florida. And my dad told me this. He's like, we're Dennis's. And Dennis's will never own Airstream.
Yeah.
Never. Not in a million. He wanted one, and we'd go to all the RV shows like Tom does, and we'd tour them, and we'd look at all of them. My mom and dad would sit, and they'd sit in the dinette and I think they'd dream,
Yeah.
Well, no way in hell would we ever. Not a million years.
So you got to go to Copart, okay, to fill the dream and get you a nice hail damaged Airstream. It's discounted. She got some dings on her.
I don't care if it has dings.
I
It's going to
wouldn't care.
last forever. I think that makes it look cooler.
Yeah,
Actually.
I mean, literally go on Copart all day long. Airstream's on their hail damage half price.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're all because one small hailstorm and it smokes them. They're totaled.
But if Daniel has an Airstream and a bunch of dents, I'll be like, look at these dents.
It will drive me crazy. Yeah, he knows the way to my heart.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'll be out there getting the what is it? The touchless dent man. He's like, I'm gonna be here all day.
You get a sponsor just for the show to pop out the dings on the Airstream.
I would take the money I saved on a half price Airstream and use that money to get a touchless dent man to fix the Airstream. That's how stupid I am.
So then we're back to full price. But it's but the point is we saved money somewhere in there. Yeah.
So back to the $1 million and it's not worth what it used to be. It's also there's a misconception in small business, and I've seen this happen a lot. Where someone was like, and talk about their business revenue, and when it's grossing over $1 million, people are like, oh, wow, they're going to look at this guy, Mark Cuban over here.
You're standing on the deck of the aircraft carrier. You're yelling "Mission accomplished!" Like, you barely did it.
And then you find out and like, oh, well, what do you make? You're like, oh, I'm not even making a paycheck yet.
You're right.
Or you're making like $50,000 a year as the owner, and that's what you're paying yourself, and then your employees. So it's like you're generating millions in total revenue, but you yourself are making like a teacher's salary and barely able to pay your employees. And then it's like, so then this $1 million business that you have is generating such a small amount of take-home income that is like not even that impressive at all.
And I think it really depends on the industry in which you go into, because like, I mean, obviously I'm in CPG, consumer packaged goods, so food and products and things like that. It is really easy, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that someone is making 1.5 million top line revenue but losing 1.8 million. So they actually lost $300,000.
That's us, yeah.
Yeah.
We call ourselves $1 million. We're a $1 million company. We're just moving $1 million.
You just move it around.
Yeah, you move it around until you lose some of it.
Round and round.
Tom and Ann's in the business of keeping others in business. It's like we make money to disperse it out to all our suppliers, partners.
I like the imagery of Tom and I's business is a toilet with money swirling around. We're like, look at it go.
What'd you do with that money we gave you? We gave it to other investors. We promised dividends. We
worked really hard to keep the lights on here so they could win, But, meanwhile, if you go into like a service industry, right? Let's take that for example. Let's say landscaping, for instance, or even washing cars. You do $1 million washing cars or $1 million doing landscapes is relatively low overhead. To start. You can make a nice living, and those are more of that lifestyle, kind of businesses where $1 million in that could actually make you a pretty decent profit, right? Even going back to marketplace, I mean, flipping cars or flipping whatever you're into, you can make maybe 100, 150, 200 grand take home on something like that, depending on what you take.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the $1 million landscaper business. I mean, that's all the VIP tickets at Morgan Wallen are $1 million landscapers, right? Like it's like high dollar.
I mean, even
construction companies that do pretty
tree trimmers, stuff like that, like. And even like guys that do like bobcat work and, they do the leveling and the grading and stuff like that. I mean, $1 million, $2 million business there, you're sitting pretty good,
To make $1 million in landscaping, you got to be a D-head and you got to know Spanish.
It helps,
and if you're not that, then good luck. Because really, when you get that level, you need to have a bunch of crews. And then you also need some commercial accounts and stuff. All the like the super rich landscapers, and then anybody and like let's talk about scaling. And this is like a general business conversation where
that's not what happens to your coffee pot, which is also scaling, I believe.
Which is also $1 million idea inbound.
There you go.
Scaling coffee
pots. Throughout my life, I've seen like Steve from Porky's Barbecue. I remember when he was like the next logical jump for me. My business here in Apopka is doing well. I want to start other Porky's, right? And then as soon as he started doing that, he told me, he's like, "This is the worst decision I've ever made because it doubled my stress." And then as soon as I left one store to go to the other, then the other store started to see a decline, and then I'm jumping back and forth.
And you're just chasing back and forth.
And you're just chasing because you're not scaling properly. Because like, I don't know what that, how do you scale this? And then it turns out like you need to bring in good employees, and that's a whole different skill set. To be a good
management, finding a manager that having somebody on like boots on the ground that could operate as him, sort of.
Well, in that scenario, SOPs, right? So standard operating procedures. You can't leave restaurant one until you basically have a, entire SOP book of how to operate it and rules and
step by step.
It's got to be basically copy paste. If you can't leave restaurant one until that's dialed, and you got to have a team. And I think the litmus test before you jump from restaurant one to restaurant two is, can I take a month off and not be here? And what's that look like? Because if I can leave for a month and it runs efficiently and it doesn't dive, then I can go start a second restaurant or a third one, right? And I think that would be the ultimate litmus test for any type of growth like that. Can I step away and this thing continues trucking and growing?
Yeah.
If I can't, I need to fix it until I can, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can't give your attention anywhere else, So
speaking of like food packaging and like, because that's the business that you obviously started and that it got you into business. How has like internet and like ordering stuff online changed that business? Because it used to be a lot more of like where you are on the shelf made a big difference. And now it's like where people are searching something on Walmart's site or like Publix's site or whatever. And it's like the area on the shelf doesn't matter anymore.
Well, is it digital shelving? I've always wondered that. Like, so for instance, on what's the one Publix uses?
Shipped. Yeah, Shipped.
Okay, like so on Shipped.
If you search rice, which one comes up first?
Thank you. Is it Mahatma or is it old Uncle Ben?
Yeah, not Uncle Ben, the OG.
Yeah.
This guy. So today is the best time in history, in my opinion, to ever try and start a business. You could do it relatively low cost. You could do it relatively low risk. And in fact, the last couple startups that I've been part of and grown, we never really spent more than a couple $1,000s on the first concept to get it into like its sales mode, right? Where a decade ago, we'd have to go make a product, find a co-packer or make it ourselves, package it, brand it, blah, blah, and you had to go buy all the packaging and buy all the glass, whatever you're making.
Sure.
Package it in the cases and get it ready to ship, take it to a store, beg a store to sell it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So you're easily, $10, $20, $30,000 into an investment like that. Today, I can come up, and this is like food, clothing, whatever, especially now with like ChatGPT and the ability to make mock-ups really quick and things like that. You could literally go to ChatGPT and go like, hey, I have an idea for, this food product or whatever I want to make. Can you make packaging that looks like, I don't know, Oreos but red and, et cetera, et cetera. It'll do a mock-up. You get on Fiverr. You go to a graphic designer there for $20. You've already thought out most of it. And you're like, hey, I need to make this a polished, realistic-looking version. Can you change A, B, and C about it, right? Put my name a little better, because chat's not perfect, right?
Tighten it up for me.
Yeah, make it look realistic. Then go, hey, do 3 flavors, right? You can do that for $50 on Fiverr. Then you go on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you go, hey, I'm dropping this new cookie line. A, B, and C are the flavors, right? Pre-sale, order today. Pre-sale goes live today. We close it out, I don't know, in a month from now. And then next thing you know, you've got sales rolling in essence. It pays for that first run. You don't have really any money out of pocket besides that initial little bump to get it going. And then you wash and repeat. And pre-sale is awesome in that sense because you get paid today to go make the product and then sell the product. And you're only making what you need to sell it, right? And then if you're, depending on your margins and the product you're making, if you have enough profit in it, you can make enough then to continue growing the business off that, right? So I paid for the initial inventory plus now the second half of that inventory that I could just continue selling here on forward.
You're in that space. Do you feel like people are, let me see how to phrase this, is pre-sale used to be sort of looked at least for me, as like being a little cheesy, being a little like, well, these people don't have their S together.
Yeah.
Pre-sale, what are you talking about? I want you to have everything done, and then I just buy the polished product. Are consumers more forgiving these days, or more they want to invest? Like, I want to be a part of it. Yeah. What would you say to that?
So Kickstarter, GoFundMe, things like that, it's all about the story, right? So I think today vulnerability and just being exceptionally you and authentic is everything. So if you get on and you're like, hey, look, my dream is to make a cookie company and I want to do this. I'm going to launch it this way, like rally behind me. People will rally. Like you will find a tribe that's like, hell yeah, dude, chase that dream. I'll buy the cookies. I don't care. I'll put $30 out for a month. It doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah.
And you got to find that tribe, and not everyone's going to be your customer. But yeah, today more than ever, I mean, COVID honestly changed for food and consumables, especially. COVID changed everything because we were kind of selling food online before, you had your Amazons and things like that, but everyone's stuck at home during COVID. It wasn't easy to get everything you liked. So a lot of people started ordering online, and now food sells huge online. So it's cool because going back to your question around, you're taking the power out of the retailer. The retailer at one point had all the control. And again, I don't care what product you're selling, whether it's to Home Depot and it's tools or whatever. You had to go knock on their door, beg them to take it. It was the only way you could really sell your product, right?
It was like radio and or TV and stuff like, and like they were the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get like any
Well, you
attention.
weren't real. You weren't real.
Until until they let you in, like, come on in.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I mean. It's like it didn't feel real. Now it is, like, I've bought a bunch of, like, I'll use the term experimental products where it's like, well, that's not fully vetted by a company or a corporation or anybody big, but it was great, or maybe better than even, maybe it was very small.
Well, the same
batch.
factory in China is making yours and theirs at the same time.
Right.
Because it's all the same, and you're like, oh, all the quality's the same because it's all made in the same place.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even let's take, like you said, radio, right? 20 years ago, to get a hour-long show on radio was like impossible if you were nobody.
Yeah.
Then here comes podcast, right? And then podcast was this thing 5-10 years ago, right? And now we've got even like, podcast blurbs, which is like TikTok. You don't have to necessarily make a real podcast. You can make a TikTok account that simulates a podcast, right? Or a show, and you're off to the races. And now you got people writing movies and stuff with like AI, and like, it's crazy because, again, look at the movie industry. 20 years ago, you had to write a script, beg someone to pick it up, and then look at how much like Netflix and streaming and all that has changed it. I think the future of even like the movie theaters in jeopardy to some degree in Hollywood, because the power's in us now. We don't need big production, if you will.
Even writing a script, you would have to get a book about how to write a script, and like writing it was a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Like, and then
how do you figure out the best practices?
Now you could essentially,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you could write. An essay about a movie that you want and tell ChatGPT, write this, make this a script, and then just fine-tune that script that it made you, but at least there's a base, and like all that work would have taken 6 months, and now you're done in a week.
Yeah.
And that is the crazy part. I mean, so much. My kid's homework, I was telling you guys, like, you could take a picture of your kid's homework, ChatGPT will explain everything, how to do it, like step by step, and you can tell it, like, hey, explain this to me like I'm a third grader, and then it explains it easier.
Now explain it like a second grader. Now first grader. Take the clothes off this. Take the clothes off this teacher.
Explain it to me like I'm an embryo. It's like, oh, it gets more complicated.
Yeah.
Make my wife a hermaphrodite. Put Mickey Mouse ears on. All right. Yeah, I like that. Make me an anime character. Make me a ninja. I want to be a ninja.
It just stops and goes, I think we have an ADHD problem. You know what I mean? Back to the original math problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat room are saying that, this is sort of what Jeff from Jeff's Bagel Run did during COVID.
Yeah.
He had an idea. He used that time to scale it and do better with it and put it out there. And by the time he got out of it, he's good.
But he wrote specific details on how to franchise it. And every franchise follows the rule book and has exactly the same thing. And like, that's a different.
But what's fascinating, Jeff's Bagel Run is a cool story because you're right? Jeff gets laid off COVID. Jeff has no idea how to make bagels, right?
Yeah.
He literally just starts trying to learn in his kitchen. They suck. I mean, if you talk to him, his story is really cool about that. He makes awful bagels. Then he finally started, and again, remember COVID was a really cool time where people rallied against, kind of what was happening. They wanted fun stuff. So they started having like drug meetups at his house almost to pick up bagels, right?
Yeah. And friends and family were getting them,
And then that started catching on. Then he opened his first shop. And then another great guy had a bagel shop at the same time, and he had some health issues. And it was going to sell it. Jeff absorbed that, so that was like shop number 2 by de facto, basically. And then, long story short, Justin Wetherall, who created You Break I Fix here in town, he built that company with his brother and sold it. Justin loved Jeff's. Justin actually backed it, and then Justin's helping Jeff scale that thing. So Justin knows how to franchise, right?
Yeah.
So
finding the right partners and right time, right place.
But let's talk about getting to that $1 million, because I'm sure Jeff was knocking on that door with 1 to 2 bagel shops, right? So, he was probably doing pretty good. He was probably making a decent little living. And then here comes opportunity knocking. And that's where, Jeff didn't wake up one day to Justin at his door going, dude, let's build bagels, right, in essence. He put himself in the way of that opportunity, which is why that $1 million idea, is so critical. And that's where I always talk about that. That $1 million could be a great lifestyle business, or it's a great opportunity to put yourself into the pathway of bigger opportunities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that $1 million section is the hardest part. It's just freaking go, man. Just start. Try something. It doesn't have, stop looking to make that billion. Just press go and try something. And then it will flush itself out and it will guide you along the way, of where you need to go.
There you go.
Jesse, I have a theory I want you to listen to and tell me if you think it's valid at all, because some people think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Right? So
No, you're leading the witness a little bit.
Yeah.
What if he says, what if he's like, this is poo-poo stinko? Are you going to be okay with that? Or are you going to be like, I don't know if I don't think you know nothing.
He just comes over and plugs
that's
the
what I'm
mic.
thinking in my head.
Okay, all
Cut
right, that's
off.
fair. That's fair. All right, hear him out.
So the Cracker Barrel brand change, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Riveting.
I watched this happen. People are exploding on the end. I'm like, what is this? People are mad, and then all of a sudden, and then
the idea of you confused, you're like, what is that?
yeah, and I'm like, what's the issue? And then everybody's arguing. The Cracker Barrel logo is everywhere, and then it's all over my Facebook and social media. And then I'm like, man, there's a lot of publicity. And that's when the light bulb went off. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I thought that, then I saw an announcement like, oh, we're not changing anything. We're leaving it as it is. So everybody, we heard the people, and now we're leaving it. And then I'm like, man, I could imagine a scenario, and people thought this is a big conspiracy theory or whatever. I can imagine a scenario where the board of people sat down with their marketing company they work with, and they're like,
Uncle Herschel and the board of directors.
yeah.
He's at the front of the table.
Yeah, I like to envision that.
That's good.
I'm a visual artist.
And then they're all like, hey, because a lot of companies have a problem where they have this heritage brand where it starts getting stale, and they're like, man, we should change this brand because it's dated. And people see it, and we've done product testing or like testing with the audience, and then like when they see it, it looks dated. Like it looks like it's the 90s because everybody remembers that going to Cracker Barrel when they're with their family on vacation
after church with their grandparents.
and nothing.
Or on a road trip with grandpa,
And a lot of companies face this where old brands look old, and that's why they constantly brand refresh. We know this from Danger Brain. It's like
we've done it with our own brand.
Yeah, so to make it look new, old brands look old, and that the people look down on that. So then I'm sure they have that meeting, and then but they're like, man, some people they like the old the nostalgia of it, and then like we'll probably get a lot of blowback. And then when someone I bet stood up, a young Tom Van stood up and was like, what
that's when they put you in there. You're like, hold on a second, excuse me.
Yeah.
And they're like, who are you, intern?
I was just scrolling TikTok in the meeting trying to because I don't like
hold on, let the dish boy from Cracker Barrel down the street speak. Yes, dish boy.
And so I propose to everybody, all right,
my idea,
because look at the changing the brand in all the stores is going to be a tremendous amount of money and expense, and we're going to have to borrow money or we're going to leverage things.
But they're going to do a couple of them just to throw them off the scent.
Yeah.
That's a small
to show we're serious.
Yeah,
they
did do some. Even the one by the airport's new.
But it's going to cost us X amount of hundreds of millions to do every store. But what if we put out leak the brand change, right? And then hire a company, because marketing companies can do this, to just pepper the internet with fake outrage, bot outrage, and stuff like that. This for sure happens with corporations,
including a lot of my conservative friends are conservative bots.
They change the narrative or make up a narrative themselves.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to manipulate the social media, because it's like, hey, and then you're like, let's put out there that like, oh, they're taking away the white guy from the logo, and that's why everybody's like, look, they went woke, and let's
go woke, go broke. Perception is reality.
And
exactly.
And then if this thing hits and becomes a thing, that Cracker Barrel logo will have 500 million impressions worldwide.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, how much
more than that?
How much would you pay for 500 million impressions? Well, we know. Here's what you'd pay, and you'd pay $180 million in advertising or whatever the hell it is, $250 million. And it's like, this is a way, and we could only spend 10 million to get $250 million in advertising. Let's do this. And then you do it, and then now it's all like, oh, we're keeping the brand, and then nothing's changed, nothing's happened. We spent we did a couple things with the store or whatever, and we got $250 million worth of Cracker Barrel marketing, and subconsciously people see that and they're like, oh, I'll go with Cracker Barrel. There's a reason why they pay it. So what do you think?
So it's funny because I'm a diehard Cracker fan myself, right?
Okay. All right.
So when I saw the change happen, first I saw this a little while ago. I was like, this is not going to go well, because about a year ago they started adding alcohol to the menu. And I'm like, well, it's not Cracker Barrel to serve mimosas and beer. I'm like, what the heck, dude? This is, grandma's.
That's my Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it's It's grandma's pancakes. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's strange. Then they started adding like appetizers to the breakfast menu, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, they're really trying to like figure out how to make more revenue coming in the building, whatever. Then when I saw the restaurant rebrand, I'm like, oh no. You know, I'm like, let's see what's gonna happen. The restaurant rebrand came through. I'm like, cool. It looks like Kiki's. You know, not a good look for them, right?
Yeah.
Then the rebrand, like, I think really just set people over the edge. So I think I would totally back because you're right. I think you're right. A brilliant CEO would have done that on purpose.
You think they just negotiated the accident and then?
I think they
they had a scapegoat. I mean, they did have that lady. I forget.
Yeah,
her name.
She the CEO, right?
Yeah, with the big glasses, and she was a part of another company too, and they were using that against her as well.
Well,
I don't have all my ducks in a row
So
here.
she was CEO of Taco Bell.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and everyone was pissed because Taco Bell, when she was CEO, she killed a lot of the favorite items, and people were like, "This lady's like, you know, the black, you know, veil of death for the things we love." You know,
she took the gordita.
Yeah, literally.
I think it was the double decker taco. No BS.
No joke. I think
it was the double decker, and I am a double decker man.
I am too, brother.
With the beans, I gotta have the beans.
And there was a couple other things that she was like over while they killed it. So again, her track record, again, veil of death. Now, Tom, to your point though, a genius marketing move, like, hey, we need to revitalize Cracker Barrel for like the generation that forgot about us. What happens when you lose something that you didn't realize you had, right? You miss it. So when you start, I mean, and they did a almost textbook job of changing it so hard that it's like it reinvigorate. I bet you their sales are through the roof. If they announce officially they're going to keep it the way it was.
At least I saw that on the internet. They did announce it, but I don't know because who knows what the truth is.
I know. And if I was the CEO, whether it was done on purpose or accident, right now would be a golden time to kind of come out and be like, hey, you know, in your face, in person, hitting up every store, converting every store we just paid money to convert back to the old way. You know, like, we heard you, we listened. You know, Cracker Barrel's back, and then try to, you know, that should reinvigorate the brand.
I think they did that, and you could check GPT, but I think they announced like we're going back to. And when they did that, then I was like, oh, for sure, there was a. Okay. Or they just.
It was last week, and I think it was like I want to say like Wednesday or Thursday. They kind of came back, and then their statement was one of these where they're like, you spoke and we listened. It was one of those.
Yeah.
You know, which still didn't lead me to, but like, I'm more of and I think we disagree on this. I'm more of they navigated an accident.
Yeah.
I think you're more of, and the reason I don't believe yours is that it means that there's got to be brilliant humans, and I don't see a lot of brilliant humans, and most things I see are accidents. Well, I don't see a lot of
young Tom Van knew. He was washing dishes.
The only way I would go to Tom's side is if she came out
from the ranks
as the face, right? Like instead of just the article dropped on Instagram, she came out and they did a campaign around her. You know, she's kind of hiding right now. That kind of tells me they navigated an accident.
She's got those big Jiminy Glick glasses.
Yeah.
You know, and people love that.
And you know who's a damn good example of this is Marcus Lemonis. He had a show on like CNBC called The Prophet. It was really cool. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's a great show. He actually, ironically, we're talking about campers. He is CEO of Camping World.
Oh, yeah.
So in either North Carolina or South Carolina, they were trying to find him because he had way too large of an American flag on the highway. And he said, I'll close this damn dealership and move it the next state over before I take that flag down. And he just kept paying the fines. And he didn't write an article. I mean, he was in their face about it. Now, that's how you handle a situation like that. You know, and that's where, you know, again, that could have been a PR stunt all day long. It's genius, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're like camper, Americana, patriotism. The three that go together. And now you're like, well, I only shop at Camping World because this guy's going to shut down an entire dealership.
Yeah. And then they're mad at the government. You're trying to make them take down the American flag.
Are you freaking crazy?
I'm driving a state over. And you would.
It's 30 by 50 feet. And the local government's like, it's in the rules. It doesn't matter what
the wind shifts direction when the highway shuts down, man. What do you want from us? You know, but that's a great topic because I mean, man, they are navigating a situation, or you know, they did a terrible job at delivering.
Yeah, and so and that I love those kind of things because I like the marketing of things.
Yeah,
like that's where I'm focused and like really I can only care about is like why did they do this?
Yeah,
and it drives my wife crazy because she's like, why do you care why? I'm like, that's the only important thing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, did they do this on purpose or was this an accident and they get out of it? Because that's what I can learn.
What do you like
consumer
more
psychology.
though? Do you like?
I like it on purpose.
Because I don't think there's a lot of them. As I get older, I have a tendency to believe more in the randomness of things happening than purpose.
But it's when now looking back at it though, it looks so easy to do.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of moving pieces, right? You need the scapegoat, you need the new logo, you need the old logo, you need to guarantee that the old logo is going to have as much, politicized outrage.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't? You know, that's a gamble. The whole thing was that's why I don't believe in it, that it was calculated because it was so perfect.
But even with the scapegoat, it's like, what does the CEO care if a lot of people dislike her? Because after all this blows over, no one cares who the CEO of any of these restaurants are.
She's still a human, though. You always dismiss the human factor of you do with sports stars, too, where you're like, what does he care about winning the championship? He only cares about money. It's like, they're still at their core. They're still people.
No, have you ever seen Fun with Dick and Jane?
Yes.
So he's the fall guy, right? You know, in the whole situation. Or the one with Will Ferrell where he goes to jail with Kevin Hart. I forget the name of that movie.
Oh, yeah, where Kevin Hart teaches Will Ferrell how to be
in prison.
Like it's like hot. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's the fall guy, right? So it's almost like the fall guy's not a crazy thing. Like they could have brought this lady on, to your point, Tom, and been like,
an actor, you mean?
Well, no, she's a true CEO,
but tell her like, hey, this is our plan.
Yeah, you're gonna take the bullets here. You know what I mean?
Because after a while, I don't think anybody cares. I don't think anybody cared to begin with. I don't think there was actual outrage, and that's where the base of it. Because everybody's like, oh. Like, was anybody outraged that they were branding and taking the old white guy who was actually yellow off of
just an old man?
Like, that's where the base of it. I was like,
what'd that guy do?
No one even really cares.
Yeah,
and and so of course, like if I was a CEO, it's like no one really even like I'm the scapegoat of a controversy that no one even cares about.
Yeah,
like this lady wanted to rebrand and take this old white guy, like. Who in real life have you ever met that actually cared about that?
Yeah.
Or did you only see it on the internet? Because I only saw it on the internet. No one cared.
As we compete against big brands, legacy brands all day, every day. And sometimes you watch these big companies, spend a ton of money to bring out new product. And you're like, holy helmet, dude, how did this get to market? This had to go through floors of approval, and I mean, it's bad, and it's not even like, good PR bad, if you will, because the old saying is, all PR is good PR, whether it's good or bad. Cracker Barrel's a great example, right? Yeah. But like, what's funny about this one is it's Cracker Barrel, old time country store, and you took all the old out of it, so that's Cracker Barrel, country store, I guess. You took the country out of it too. So yeah, I see it all the time in the big legacy brands, and we laugh because I'm like, man, there was $100 million lesson on what not to do. Thanks for that. We'll write it down and avoid that, right? So,
how many of the people were expecting it, though? Like, that's maybe why I don't fit in this argument at all, is because, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they need to.
Yeah,
my initial 100% reaction was
that's
like,
real.
Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
The controversy was fake.
No, I agree with you on that. And it was amplified. I don't like saying fake, but it definitely amplified. Because I know there were at least a couple people that I know of that were like in my family that were. They may not. I can't get in their brain to.
They were mad that they changed the brand, but not that they took the white guy. That part of it was fake. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody doesn't like a brand change because they feel comfortable with the old brand, even though they haven't been there in years.
Right.
And then they were like, "Well, then show up. We're doing this because our sales are down." And you're like,
trying to make it nicer for you.
Well, then come to eat at our place, and that's essentially what they did. It was like remind people like come support Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
And then all through a giant fake media BS, which but you're right. That's giving a lot of people credit to have a brilliant idea.
Either way, though, it's a textbook on how to do it if you were going to try and plan something like that, right? So,
well, it's like astronomer. There were people that were saying, hey, he definitely went to that concert with his new love interest on purpose. Look at the ads they're getting. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything. Because it can be. Like, we do live in a time.
You could really spin it like
that. Well,
that.
here's one. This is a perfect time, and I wanted to ask you this. So, did you see the story about Shine Clothing?
No.
Okay, well, I guess it was like last Friday. They put up like their new line of clothing for like this is the new fall line of Shine clothing, and one of the models just happens to be the insurance murderer Luigi Mangione, and like one of the models.
Yeah,
and then everybody's like, oh my, they yank it down. It made the news. You can go Google the article. If you want to read about it. Multiple articles everywhere. Just shorted along with me and Tom. I was like, they do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Is that AI on purpose? Just because, are we at a time now where, to go back to Tom's point about the CEO being the scapegoat and it was all engineered, are we at a time where this is like sort of standard operating procedure for new business?
Yeah.
Is this a new way of doing media? Is this
Attention,
a new?
yeah.
And it's a Kardashian playbook all day long. That's all they did. That's the entire show. It's car accident after car accident after car accident of entertainment that kept them relevant until they all became billionaires. And to some degree, Dan, maybe that is the move right now. And again,
see, I don't like it though, and I know that's dumb old man to say.
I know.
To me, in my opinion, like when I read the article, I was like, if they did that on purpose, to me, I wouldn't do that. Ethically, that's not the type of business I would want to do. That's kind of gross. Yeah. But if they want to do that, I guess there's no law against it. I mean,
well, even still, though, it's kind of funny because going back to like starting a business, taking a risk. You used to have to kind of tread lightly, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful about your perception of the public. Do you have to, or do you kind of?
I don't think you do.
Do you just go bull in a china shop and then ride the media wave? Where it's like, should I put that on a T-shirt?
Where you're seeing it on all aspects. I mean, you're seeing it with like right now in country music. You're seeing like a lot of infighting because they know they can get publicity. You see it everywhere. But my point is, I don't necessarily like it. It also breeds to a point where people are like, wow, there sure is a lot of natural negativity in the world. And I'm like, I kind of agree with you. Yeah. Because I do think the guardrails are off because it's like, just do whatever you want. Yeah. Get the eyes, and then you could flush it all out later. And that's okay, but
it's very WWE. I mean, if you think about it.
It's jarring for me.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. It facilitates more of that. Just chaos, everyday chaos, right?
Yeah, and and there's something to be said about like sometimes you jump to it's all a conspiracy when it's not. I mean, we did it with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Where there's some marketing thing with the NFL and stuff, and then it's like, it turns out they actually were dating and getting married. And then,
but that was only after the business deal went through.
But it seemed like such a perfect marketing problem.
Hey, listen, I've gotten
married for money. You think they're too big for that? Yeah. They don't care. It's just
you cannot tell
me. Get them.
It's a scam.
That's proof. You
Cracker Barrel, Taylor Swift.
That one I'll give him because he 100% got married for money.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It was $50,000.
He wanted to retire 2 seasons ago.
I'll get divorced for any money. Offer me.
I'll give you money.
Who cares? I'm just going and signing a paper. I don't care when I lie to the government. I lie to the government every day. Anyway.
Thanks for coming here, buddy.
So we haven't come up with $1 million idea. But
no, I think you're getting paid for getting divorced is $1 million.
Hold on. Okay, here's the $1 million idea takeaway. A car crash, if you will, PR agency. You know what I mean? So
wait a minute. This is that Tim Robinson show.
Yeah, I love that show.
On Netflix. This is Detroiters.
What every idea's been thought of.
Damn it.
He just does really bad ideas that for some reason happen to work for his clients.
You're right. That is exactly that show. Okay. But you can absolutely take this idea and run with it and even hit a niche. Go landscapers. You're a PR agency that causes crazy chaos for landscape companies to get more sales. You're welcome.
Wow.
Well, speaking of landscape, that was my one idea that I had is that I was like, there is like a peer-to-peer for everything, and there hasn't been one for landscaping.
Oh,
okay. And I don't mean to take a lot of our listeners are landscapers, so I apologize. But I'm like, imagine a peer-to-peer where you get on, and then like you always have a neighbor, like an old man neighbor that loves mowing his lawn, that's got a riding lawnmower, and then
oh my God, it's like mow it forward.
That's
what we call it.
Is that what it is?
We call it mow it forward.
Okay. You just get on the app, and then he gets on his app, and then he does it for half the cost of your landscaper because he just drives across he's mowing his lawn, and then he just drives to yours, mows yours, and now he makes $50 a month. but
I
you
put this
pay
in-
your landscaper $100.
Put this in your pool bear idea. It's a good idea. I like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That's
I have
actually rock solid.
I have another pool cleaning idea that it was going to be Pool Burr, the new iteration of Pool Burr.
Does that involve
but
lingerie?
But it's the same thing.
I'll
like,
wear it fine.
There's always a dad in the neighborhood that knows how to do a pool chemicals and like have him do yours too.
Yeah.
For half the cost of someone driving all the way across town.
And
to
he
do...
can put his pool chemicals on his lawnmower when he drives over. He can save a little money there.
Anyway.
He's got the belt like Waterboy, you know?
Yeah, pool and lawn.
Yeah.
There's your $1 million idea. Now you need $100 million in advertising to get it off the.
Good
That's
luck.
Or create
Yeah,
controversy.
that's the thing of like Halsey and all these popular app ideas that are good ideas, but you need the marketing money to make it.
Hey, listen, you mow 1 yard with no pants on, you will for sure get some local media attention.
That's true.
Jesse, what
Thanks for being here,
all
buddy.
your social media for everybody? Real Jesse Wolf.
At Real Jesse Wolf, RealJessewolfe.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks
Hey,
for
does
having
your
me, guys.
mom have a bench on Park Avenue? Is that
No.
related to your family, or is that another wolf
Is
around
there a
town?
wolf bench on Park?
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out. No.
Yeah, my wife saw it. We cleaned it, and it had
Hey!
we thought it was somebody in your family.
Yeah, I'll have to look
She
into
just
that.
mentioned in there. I wasn't gonna mention it because
Yeah.
it was like a memoriam.
Yeah,
bench.
no, yeah.
But
no.
like she's like, that's got to be related to Jesse Wolf.
There's a lot of wolves out there, I'm learning these days.
Only one van.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Van tough.
Two ends, which is weird.
So we're going to go buy an Airstream? Or like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
all right, good deal.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Love you, bye.
Awesome. Thank
That
you,
was
buddy.
funny.
Guys, that
We're
was
still
awesome.
on
Yeah,
Twitch
super
and
fun.
YouTube. Is that it though?
No, we
gotta
got to do one more
little one.
segment for
Yeah,
tomorrow.
14 for tomorrow.
Or no, for tonight.
For
it's
tonight, yeah,
it's
sorry.
segment 2. Yeah.
Yep, it's 14 minutes. Thanks for doing that, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That is Friday.
All right. Well, thank you so much, dude.
Dude, this is always so fun. Always.
Everything else been good though, man?
Oh, so good. So
You still got your truck?
Brother, it just blew the radiator.
No.
So
I'm bad about asking about stuff.
Huh?
I'm bad about asking about stuff.
No,
That's
you're
bad.
fine.
Like,
No,
how's your truck?
I've literally been like hunting the last couple weeks for a new one, and then the radiator just exploded last week. I'm like, oh, it's really time for a new one. So,
That's the way it goes.
yeah.
right?
Now I'm like, what do you want? This whole 9 yards. So I don't know. But
Well, good luck with it, man.
yeah, thanks guys. And you guys been good?
Yeah.
Yeah, just busy trying to get new clients and.
Yeah, I've been talking to some other influencers that have big followings but haven't monetized it.
Yeah, nice.
And so I've been, working with some of them to try to help them create their business. And then maybe another version of this business is like how to teach influencers how to monetize it. Because I realize that.
Oh, that's cool, Grady.
What we're doing, it seems so intuitive to me.
I'm gonna put some music on just real quick while I use the restroom. So enjoy that. I'll be right back.
So obvious, but I really.
We'll be right back.
If you, just like you said.
#1 rock station, Z159 FM.
Right.
Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
we're back. Stranger Things music. Jesse's a nice man.
Oh, yeah. You shoot the shit with Jesse.
I like that guy a lot. All right. What was your idea that we had as we were going to break there?
With what?
Your
landscaping?
I like that idea. That's better than the Poolber idea to me.
I think.
And Poolber idea is a real idea.
We need to give it 10 more years because the old guy that's retired that likes mowing his lawn isn't on an app, and you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, right.
He doesn't know how to do that. But
right.
the my age guy that becomes old, like when I retire, and then I'll like, hey, I like mowing my lawn. I'll just mow my neighbor's yard.
I mowed my neighbor's lawn in Deltona, so it's a thing.
And then instead of they pay their landscaper $120 a month. They pay me $60 a month. And I'll mow their lawn. And that guy's like, shit, I'll do that.
I wonder what the percentages of neighbors that mow neighbors' yards are. Like,
a lot of
like 20%, 22%.
Well, a lot of people do. God, what?
I used to do the front. Like, I haven't mowed my lawn since I left Deltona.
Yeah.
When I mowed my lawn in Deltona, this is the number I'm trying to get to. I mowed my lawn, and then remember the house to the left that was the single mom with the kids?
Small patch of grass.
I would mow hers too.
Yeah.
And I think there's a high concentration of guys like me, guys like your neighbor, that mow theirs and then a little bit.
Yeah. Just as a favor because
How
I'm already out
percentage?
here. Especially in riding lawnmowers.
Even easier.
If you got a riding lawnmower, you'll just do your neighbor's front of your yard because who gives a shit? You're already listening to a podcast. You're like, whatever, 5 more back and forth.
Ghost is trying to fuck with the idea. He says, I cut my own grass, but I also haven't ever spoken to a single word to any neighbors. I've been in my house for 5 years.
Yeah, but no, you're not going to
talk to your
You're not going
neighbors.
to talk to them. It's on the app. So if you're like, hey, I like mowing lawns, there's a Yard Burr app, and I go in Yard Burr. Mober. I'm on Mober, and then I say I enter
No,
my.
it's called Homo. It's the Homo app.
Okay, I'm on the Homo app, and then
Home mowing.
And then I put my area, like, okay, I'm in Maitland / Castleberry.
Looking for other homos.
In a short, even you put the circle small, like I just want to ride.
Well, it's not a circle. The area is shaped like a dick.
Yeah. And then anybody in that area will get, if they have that app, will get alerted like, hey, there's a homo in your area.
It's home mower. The home mower app. Homo for short.
Yeah. There's a homo in your area that would cut your lawn for half of what you pay, and then you're like, oh shit, I'll take that. And then when you hit
it goes, homo.
you hit it, and you hit it, and then I get contacted like, hey, this neighbor would like, and then you see a picture. They uploaded pictures of their yard.
Homo.
I look at their yard, and I'm like, oh, I'll mow that for $60 a month when I mow mine. And then I agree, and then they pay through the app. The app makes $5 a transaction, or whatever the fuck the Uber makes, because it's about
a transaction fee.
The
you can integrate Apple Pay into the Homo app.
Yeah, and then so I'm doing my yard, and I save my neighbor $60, and I put a landscaper out of business.
Yeah,
because
don't have time to mow your yard? Put a Homo on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway,
Homo app. Should have been recording that. It's actually pretty funny.
That's a good idea, except for you need users, and that's where like Halsey failed, is they didn't have the marketing power to get enough users to support it. And if there's not enough users, then I
also feel like you need to give them an incentive, which is where Jeff's did it right, because Jeff's is like, hey, we want a lot of you to use the app because it does help our workers. It helps our efficiency. In order to get you to use it, we know you got to get skin in the game. You got to find the app. We're going to give you food. So we'll give you free food to use our app.
Yeah.
They did it right.
And they don't need the app for that's like a complimentary piece to their business. They still have a store and stuff. With this, like, you need people to volunteer to mow other yards and other people to register to get their yard mowed.
You need mows and hoes.
And if you don't get that, then just like Halsey, people are like, I've been a member of this. I haven't got one job. Fuck it.
Uber used to be kind of like that.
But Uber got huge financial backing, which allowed them to market the shit out of them.
It was everywhere. Benches, billboards, and radio ads, TV ads.
And that's where, like, Shark Tank, you get, $50 million in investors, and then you spend that $50 million to put all the taxi cab companies out of business, and it become a thing that everybody knows. Then you start making money. It's like the tube sites and stuff. It's like, you change the way people consume or do things like taxis, and now that you change the world, start upping your prices. Uber's doing it right now. And now it's not as cheap.
I haven't used Uber in a minute.
Yeah. It's probably $5 to $8 more than it used to be per ride. It's enough for you start looking at and during peak times, like because my Crystal's car's in the shop, it's like sometimes from here to my house is like $27.
Holy smokes!
And during peak hours,
right.
And so sometimes $12. But even it used to be like $8 or $9 or $10.
$6, man. I remember going to your house for $6 one time. The original plan was to do voicemail email. You want to just do that?
Yes.
And it's this is a 16-minute.
Yeah. Segment.
I think it was 16. Let me double check.
I think we only did 20.
Because it was the other Thursday was 24. Yeah, it's 16.
Okay.
All right. I'll bring us back. 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do an email.
All right. This is from our buddy Clay. He leaves a lot of really good emails. He says, Dan, Tom, and special guest, was hearing you discuss window shopping at the mall back in the day and wondered what was a significant memory of buying something spontaneous. Did you ever buy something from like a sword or a weapon shop? That's funny. I just got an email from a lady that was gifted. This is related, unrelated. A lady just emailed me and said that she was gifted like between 7 and 12 different high-end Lord of the Rings swords, and she wants to gift them to Ross, and so I connect the dots.
Okay.
I gave her Ross's number.
These listeners are giving them their garbage?
No, these are 7 or 12 high-end Lord of the Rings swords.
Why don't they just sell them online? They don't want to deal with it.
Closer than the dump,
right? Just take a picture of it and put it on Facebook.
She wants them to go to Ross, so I'm connecting the dots. Okay, let's think spontaneous. I'm not known for my spontaneity. Well, when it comes to purchases, I am known for my spontaneity. I was going to say the dentist is not known for our spontaneity. My wife makes no spontaneous purchases. There's never been a time where my wife has ever gone anywhere and then made a purchase of an upwards of $1,000 and she didn't know that it was going to happen that day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No such thing as that.
Yeah. I don't think I have upwards of $1,000.
How high would you go? 500?
No, I don't think even that. Like
I don't think I would either.
The only thing I could think of is a Sharper Image when I was a kid.
Hell yeah. I loved Sharper Image, dude. Brookstone, Sharper Image, all those stores. Oh, I loved them. I can still feel them. I can still feel the nostalgia.
They had, and this is in the 90s, so this is before they mass produced these in every toy store or whatever. But they had the basically the thing, a bed of needles, and it's not even needles, like a bed of.
It's what you put your middle finger in.
Yeah. See,
this is why we're in business
with glass
together.
on the front, and then it basically if you could put it in your face and stick out your tongue. Oh.
It was one of the original science. It was considered a science toy.
Yes, yeah.
And it's a tabletop toy, and it's like 10,000 blunted needles driven through a piece of wood, and you can put your middle finger. You can make it look like you got your tongue in the V.
You can make an impression of your face, and it basically those needles will hold
the shape.
You turn around, and you're like, look at this,
and then you gently pull it off, and then you set it down, and you're like, look my face. Look, I tongue the needles.
I remember when I saw that as a Sharper Image as a kid, I was like, I want this so bad.
I think every boy was.
And then my mom bought it for me. It was like $80.
First thing you do, take it home, put your boner in it.
and then I was like, I remember after I bought it, after
buyer's remorse. Did you get buyer's remorse?
Oh yeah, big time.
$80 is. You know what? I think you nailed the price.
It was revolutionary technology.
It was. It was one of the first science toys. You know where it ranks up with? The 10,000 needles driven into the board that you put your face or middle finger in is right up there with ball that shoots purple electricity. Those two are the two greatest science toys ever made. No one can fight me on that. I will fight. I'll fight you with the sword. I'll fight you with a sword to the death. No one can debate me. The ball of energy that you buy at Spencer's Gifts. or the thing that I can't believe you had one, dude. You were kind of I wouldn't say a rich kid, but you had cool stuff.
No, my mom.
You had the coolest stuff.
She would just buy me whatever I wanted to make me happy.
Yeah. Well, you lost your dad. I get it. I'd probably do the same thing. I'd be like, buy him the thing. Put your tongue in it.
Yeah. But then I was like, there's not much you can do with this thing. And then it sat there.
Oh, Mason had one of those.
Yeah, and then I remember I pried the front glass off.
Let's break it.
And then I was like, I'm going rogue with this, no glass. And then all the needles fell out.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And then I started trying to put them in one by one.
You are? You're like, meet the glass. Oh, needles fall on carpet.
Well, because I was like, it's more impressive with the glass off. Then people are like, oh, I've never seen that one.
That's dangerous.
But then all the needles fell out. Then I tried to one by one. I was like, oh, F it.
You just
throw it in the garbage. Anyway. All right.
I'm trying to think of mine. Spontaneous purchase. I mean, I've done a couple that are stingers for Andrea where I'll do the like I'm at Target and I see the Xbox Series X is there and it's the latest greatest and I'll call her and I'll be like, they got one left here. Come on.
Oh yeah. Then you got a new Switch.
That was pretty spontaneous. Yeah, the new Switch.
Yeah, any new I'm electronic stuff you just go out and buy.
But I didn't do it for the new phone, and I think my powers are waning or something because the new iPhone's coming out. Like I want to say they're doing an announcement in a couple weeks, and I didn't even get the newest one. I still have like a Series 15 or whatever.
The upgrades. They're nothing that really has you go out to like. Driven to go get it because you're like, oh, I have to have this.
No.
It's all just a little bit better than it was, and there's nothing revolutionary about the new one. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit better camera maybe or whatever it is. It's not. It doesn't really, drive you to get one.
You know what I feel bad about too is that like for me, with the iPhone, I know the camera a lot of times the only good thing that they're giving you in the newest iteration is a better camera.
Yeah.
And I don't think I use even the camera that I have for video and photos as much as I should. I mean, like, there are places that you and I go for the show that I don't take any photos. Like, I'm not good at that. I'm just not. You know, like people, like, I've even used the term to you guys. I'd be like, oh, I upgraded it because it's got a better camera. That's a lie. Yeah, I do not use it.
You don't use it. There's no reason.
I mean, I use it as much as any other dad does. You know, I mean,
but you don't need all the features it has.
I don't.
Yeah,
no, I absolutely do.
The
not.
editing technology, all the stuff that it could do is like.
I think there was a time when I was editing on it more and doing stuff like that, but it's just like for what you and I do now, it's just like it just doesn't work like that. Let's go with let's jump over to voicemail. Because I had a couple of those that I wanted to play as well. And if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can do so through the app or you can do so by calling 1-844-TOMNDAN. That is the number to call. Do you believe the old banana on boats thing?
Hello, Tom and Dan. Hope you had a wonderful Labor Day. Just got back from a little boat trip with my sister's family. And as we were launching out of the docks, I looked into the cooler and saw that my niece had brought a couple bananas. And I chuckled and was telling her, that's bad luck if we were going fishing. To which my brother-in-law snapped and said, bananas, get the fuck out of the boat. So I immediately launched them over my shoulder and into the bay and spent the next 5 minutes explaining to my niece why bananas are bad luck while you're boating. Anyways, just wonder what your opinion on that was. If you have the same superstition, have a good show.
Sir, have you even listened to the show? We have no superstition. At least I don't. I don't think Daniel does really either. At least I've never seen it.
I mean, some of them are baked in. Like I got some things that I still do that are just like habits.
Yeah, but habits are different than like actually thinking that bringing a banana or some other thing is going to have some supernatural effect on your fishing trip or whatever it is. My wife has tons of superstition. She gets so mad at me when I tell her.
Are they real though?
It's real in that it drives her behavior. So they're real.
Can she power through though?
It's hard for her.
Okay.
But she doesn't like it when I dismiss them. And when I tell her what you believe is 100% not true, And
what's her answer? She said, like, well, it just makes me feel better.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay.
Her answer is, it makes me feel better. I'm like, well, what doesn't do anything in reality except for inside your own brain.
Right.
It's not going to change the outcome of anything. It's like, winning the lottery or whatever. It's just like it's like, oh, there's a good luck, bad luck.
Yeah, hop on one foot, use the lucky numbers.
I stepped on a crack or
break your mom's back.
Yeah. All this stuff is nonsense. And then she says that I have no joy in life and that I live my life horribly.
Well, you have joy. I think it's just different joy, right? Like, I think
I get joy out of telling people that but their superstitions are stupid. Because it's not that I get joy in it. It's almost disbelief that they still buy into it, even though they'll tell me, like, I know it's stupid.
Yeah, but that's what I think. I don't think they're truly buying into it. I think it's more. That's why I meant by me. Like, a lot of them, it's almost just like it's like muscle memory. It's just like I'm going through the motions of some sort.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of one that I have, and I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. But it's almost like if I've done it a long time, even if I know that the science behind it is not sound, I may still do it.
Here, I have one that for years, I wouldn't say bless you to anybody, right?
Yeah, I do that with you, but I've stopped doing it now.
Yeah. Because and people that did it to me especially when I was a younger man, I'd be like, what do you think? A demon's going to fly out of my nose?
See, I don't believe that. To me, it was always just being polite.
A courtesy, yeah.
It has nothing to do with demons.
But it's a weird courtesy. To say bless you because of the whole origin of it. Anyway, I was just mainly being a D-head, which also I like doing.
I didn't know that. I don't
really like
it.
Seems
like a newer thing, you lean it into the D-head thing.
Well, that's when I got older. You
can see it more.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm going to say, bless you, stupid.
And make people feel uncomfortable for doing something nice.
So for a long time, I never said it with my wife's sneeze. I still don't because I think it's more for but now I say it with my kids' sneeze. Because like the kids will sneeze in the car, and then I'll say bless you, and it'll be like, oh, thank you. They'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that changed. I was like, oh, well, I like that you appreciate something I said, even though it's stupid that I said it. So I'm just going to say it to you. It'll be our little secret. I won't say it to your mom.
That makes you extra crazy. Yeah, that's wild level.
No, because now what I'm getting out of this transaction is...
It just means you live your life very selfishly.
Not really.
Well, you're stomping on everybody else. Like, what if I like getting when I say bless you, why would you want to stop the enjoyment that I get out of doing a courtesy for you?
Well, see.
You said you like being a dickhead, which would prove to me that your decision to do that would be a selfish decision.
Here's the flaw: is that I don't have any appreciation that you said "bless you." I get mad and say, "Stop saying that."
Right.
And so you should stop saying it. My sons have appreciation that I say "bless you," so that's my motivation to say "bless you."
Okay.
So you should. If you said it to me,
that's
I don't appreciate.
Way too complicated for me to care about it. Like way too complicated for me to care about it.
Everything.
That is just wildly confusing. Let's do this one right here. Have you ever had? Okay, Tom and Dan, what has been your most successful crash course learning session? I'm currently doing some crash course history lessons in 1920s and masquerade parties for an upcoming themed party. Hope, and then he says, this was in regards to your hitch. Hope your crash course on your car Reese hitch assembly works out good. Well, my scooter, I had to read a lot about that to do it, to disassemble the engine to a point where if I wanted to put it back in, I could. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of hard.
Everything that I go to do, I always YouTube it first and then just follow the instructions of the person that's teaching me how to do it. So, like any project, anything, I'm like, it's on the internet step by step, usually. This kit wasn't, and that kind of sucks. But that's a very one-off.
Yeah. I did find one guy, but his videos were terrible.
Yeah.
It's like it was there, but his videos were like really, really poor. And it kind of made me feel like I wish I'd done a better job so I could help people,
Like
kind of be my Gesundheit.
I made this joke before. Like my sons have 90cc Kawasaki four-wheelers, right? And I was like, oh, like I could figure out eventually how to change the oil, but I'm like, YouTube knows. And then there was like 9-year-old girl that did a YouTube video.
Yeah, you told me about
that
this.
taught me how to change oil. So I'm like just watching this 9-year-old girl. Like there's check this. There's a little filter that comes out of the bottom that catch metal shavings or whatever. That you take that out, make sure that's clean.
Clean it out.
And then it's step by step. It tells me how to do it. There was a YouTube video of changing my boat motor oil in my old boat that I watched the same old man, and like I'd go through the steps.
I
do it once
too.
a year. And but it's a tremendous resource that is insane. We live in a world where everything can be explained step by step to you.
Have your boys, like, has that light bulb gone off where they're like doing something and they're like, oh, let me look this up? Have they found some things like, oh, we're building a fort or we're coloring something, we want to look this up?
Tommy's done it with his homework.
Yeah.
Like his homework, he's like stuck on something. He's like, I need to Google this. And then I'm waiting to teach him how to do ChatGPT. But then once that happens, I'm like, you'll never learn anything again. You'll just, everything you go to do, I know there's tests and stuff, but you'll just ask ChatGPT to help you answer every question. And then you learn how,
But that's why I think the process outside of ChatGPT is so important, right? That's to answer a question from like maybe even weeks ago. It's like that to me makes it like, okay, well, since you do have that tool, we have to make sure that you're able to do this when you don't have the tool. I don't know if that's going to register with any kids, but,
To me,
because...
If I was a young kid, I'd be like, well, when am I never going to have my phone?
Yeah, but we said that with math. It's the same thing.
Apocalypse?
Remember? I'm like, I don't need this. I got a calculator.
Guess what? In my son's math class, calculator only.
Oh, yeah, you're allowed to have them. We were too.
Yeah, and now
I was allowed to have a calculator in my math class.
Yeah, they're teaching the kids. And then I'm like, well, don't you want to learn how to do it by hand? And Tommy's like, guess not.
No, we didn't. We had the sine and cosine button right on the fancy calculator.
And
I never learned how to do it.
So then I'm like, I guess, unless you end up in an apocalypse where you don't have your phone next to you, I guess you will always have some resource to go to.
Or what if
any
that
problem.
is the apocalypse? Just not having your phone near you. It's like some people say that hell, there is no place. Hell is just the absence of God. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's
Joe Rogan.
I guess we'll get to a point where you'll always go to your phone for any problem.
Well, I think what they're trying to get us to believe we're heading to is that will be the chip, right? That'll be the convergence. Right.
And then now you have super intelligence where you could access.
But can you turn that off? Let's say you don't want to access it. Do you want that on at all times?
Yeah, well, that's in a weird science fiction thing that we'll be dead by.
Oh, yeah.
Time, but
sweet death.
Interesting, I'm telling you. We're going towards utopia for a good, maybe, 500 years of utopia, and then something else.
Sounds good to me.
Generations of vans.
All white clothing. Oh, I love it.
And then most likely, your last name will, you'll have a girl, whatever, something will happen.
No, that dies with me. I want the line to die with me.
Yeah, someone won't have kids. Like my sons could choose not to have kids, and then it's it. And so
who
cares?
Choose that? How they got to keep the vans going? We need some space pirates out there.
Nowadays, kids are too hard. We're too weak for kids. I wouldn't have kids now.
Let's get out of here. Oh my God.
We will see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. What's up, Jackie? Haven't seen you pop in here in a minute. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh my God, I feel the same way. When I blast people there, don't feel like you're a red scare anymore. I don't know. It's just if you grew up in the South, it's just something you say. And I've never felt the need to not do it. It's kind of like when Samantha's husband would get mad and not show his receipt when he was walking out of Costco. I'd be like, just do it. Why you gotta do that? Why